Okay, so for those of you who know us, this event has become very important to our community. In fact, one of the reasons why we continue to do this conference is because it speaks directly to you, the Microsoft Dynamics retail community. It keeps you up to date on the latest happenings and news from Microsoft, not only from a hardware and software standpoint, but just in general news. Our agenda is a compilation of feedback from past events, as well as solutions and trends that we know will be very relevant to this community. When you look at your agenda, you will notice that there are solution spotlights as well as informational and educational presentations. It speaks directly to this industry. In fact, one of the reasons why we added a fourth track this year, sponsored by Shift4 Corporation, it'll walk you through the key features and topics concerning Microsoft Dynamics Retail. If you take a quick look around you, you might notice retailers, resellers, ISV partners, industry professionals, or even a reporter. In fact, they might even be as close as from Canada or Mexico, or even all the way from Australia. We truly are a global community here, and to put it most simply, we're here because we all interrelate with the Microsoft Dynamics Retail Solutions. And with that said, I would like to introduce Afshan Al-Khani, our chairman.
So I thought I'll be very brief this morning, only about 2-3 minutes, since I know you're all recovering from lots of drinking last night. And I heard some of you have donated a lot of money to Caesars last night, so they'd like to thank you on behalf of Caesar and the state of Nevada. I would like to thank all of the sponsors, without whose help really some of what we're doing today and tomorrow would not have been possible. And I will encourage you all to go and have a look at their presentations and their booth in the conference room. We also have got quite a lot of exhibitors this year who have joined us to add a lot of value. And again, we would like to very much thank all of the exhibitors for being here. And I would like also to thank, in this particular case, our friends from the Red Cross. As you may have known, after the Sandy storm, we had a little fundraising, which a lot of our resellers, yourselves, participated, and we charged, I think, $1 per invoice, and we matched that money, and we managed to raise about $1,500 that we donated to the Red Cross. So again, thank you very much on behalf of the Red Cross and to all of you who donated the money. So thank you very much. I thought that since the topic is retail technology, it may be of interest to have a look at a tidbit of retail technology in terms of the history of some of the technology that has been in retail. And clearly, one of the most important part of the retail technology that we have had has been the barcode, and how barcode has helped us in the past, I would say, 40, 50 years. And what is really interesting is that, and I didn't really know, but when I started looking into it, is barcode actually was created out of looking at Morse code and how to extend Morse code into a graphical format. And in 1948, students that were working at a time in Drexel University in Philadelphia were given a project to have a look at how to automate item lookups for retail. And that led to a patent that was filed by those students later on with Bernard Silver and Joseph Woodland. And that patent stands today and is the initial start of barcoding. And then barcoding didn't really take off until the 1960s, when the US Railroad decided to use that to identify the cars that were coming and going out of the train station to keep track of them. And it was a dismal failure because, of course, mud and dirt gets on top of the barcode, and then after a while you can't read anything. So people thought that that technology was dead and was never going to be used for anything, until the late 60s, early 70s, where it was again reinvigorated. And in 1973, we have the first barcode UPC standards that were published. And in 1974, the first supermarket, Marsh Supermarket, actually sold the first item using a barcode. And by the way, in your pack, you will see that there is a bar of chewing gum. And the reason you have the bar of chewing gum is that the very first item to be sold was Wrigley's fruit gum. So you have that as a reminder. And really, I start with this history because where we are today, we're sometimes sitting on verges of new technologies that we are not always aware what they will mean necessarily in the future. So if we look at technology today in 2013, we have been, we are learning new vocabulary. Microsoft is teaching us things about omni-channel retailing, and clearly there is a lot happening in retailing. We have been talking about e-commerce, we have talked about social media commerce and how that's affecting it with Facebook and Twitter and everything else. We have been talking about embedded retail technology. Refrigerators are going to let you know when you're running out of milk and eggs, and you're going to be pressing a button, and somewhere down the line, somebody's going to be processing it. I was looking at TED on YouTube, and they were talking about on-demand manufacturing, so that if you are missing a piece of equipment from your dryer or from your vacuum cleaner, you can go in and put the part number in, and somewhere in China or in Korea or some other place, somebody's going to print this copy into a printer that's going to manufacture that for you, and then you will have it delivered by FedEx 3 or 4 days later in your house. So the nature of retailing is changing entirely. Payment processing, same way. We started with cash and credit cards and debit cards and e-wallet and PayPal and a chip and pin, and now we're doing with near-field communication, and God knows where that is going. I mean, in a few years, they're probably going to take a DNA sample, and they will know exactly what credit card is associated with this DNA sample. So who knows? But we are really moving exceedingly fast. The most important part of it is that I really feel that we are at the cusp of a technology change. And I really can see that what Microsoft is doing is taking advantage of that technology change and trying to be one of the first solution providers that is integrating all of those technology changes that are coming forward. So with that, I'm going to pass the baton to Mike, who is going to take it and show us what Microsoft is doing. And again, thank you all for coming here.
All right, we're going to try this again.
Yeah.
So I want to welcome all of you, and thank you all for being here. For anyone who doesn't know, I'm Michael Griffiths, and I'm the Global Managing Director for all of Microsoft's retail solutions. And what I want to do today is really take the opportunity with all of you here to walk through the last 3 years and what has been an evolution for Microsoft in terms of our retail strategy. We started on a few different paths, both from a devices, from an applications, and from a retail store's perspective. So we're going to go through that. We're going to talk about the direction that the industry's headed, why Microsoft is making the choices they're making, some of the innovation we're bringing. But I wanted to start by getting the video on the screen. I have been in 28 countries over the last 12 months, and it never ceases to amaze me how the... Just bear with me for one moment. You're also getting first-hand view of Windows 8 and the joy of learning Windows 8. Thank you for that. Yeah. I'm going to call my Chief Technical Advisor, Jeff Blucher, up to the podium. How many Microsoft guys does it take to figure out Windows 8? Here we go.
Conference. This is amazing. And it couldn't be a more exciting time to be in retail. Fred, I'm really sorry that I couldn't be there with you guys today, but what amazing excitement we have. Not only will you get to hear about RMS and RMS Next, but around AX, R2, and all of the great retail capabilities. There was just a phenomenal event in New York with NRF, and the buzz was just amazing. So you guys are going to get to hear a lot of the latest and greatest, but we really appreciate just your diligence around this business and just our mutual excitement around our customers in the retail space. So it couldn't be any more fun. And again, there's some good news and bad news. Hey, well, Hal, thanks for joining us, buddy.
So I heard you were doing a little welcome for the retail guys down in Vegas. Unfortunately, I didn't get the invitation till the last second, so we're not going to be able to go down. But I still wanted to say hi to everybody and say, hey, we're really excited about the work that's going on RMS Next Gen and the work that we're driving in the retail space. And we look forward to hearing your feedback, and Michael's going to be there to present a lot of great stuff, and we're really happy that you guys are together and continuing to drive business on the Microsoft platform.
That's awesome. And really, the good news, bad news, Hal, is I guess the bad news is that we're not in Vegas.
Yeah, that's the bad news. Yeah.
But the good news is that you guys will have more success at the poker tables because Hal's not there.
Yeah, you won't have to worry about running into me in a poker room, so it'll be good.
That's great. Have a great event, guys.
Yeah.
So see, that was worth it. So for anyone who doesn't know, that was Fred Studer, who is my manager. He's the general manager for all of Dynamics Industry Solutions and for ERP. And then Hal Howard is our corporate vice president. He runs all the R&D across all of Microsoft Dynamics. And so, obviously having their insights and the fact that they're very, very supportive of everything going on here, very supportive of all of you. You heard Fred and Hal talk about RMS Next Gen and the excitement about the development and the work that's happening, some of which you're going to see here at the conference in terms of demonstration, a lot of the new capabilities. My technical specialist, Jeff, who is my stunt double when things go bad, is going to be able to take you through a number of sessions. So a lot of exciting content both today and tomorrow. But with that, I wanted to jump into the actual presentation itself. And as you see, the theme is ready for what's next. As I said, about 3.5 years ago, Microsoft was really at a crossroads in terms of retail and our retail solutions and what we wanted to do. We had a great product in RMS that's been very, very successful for us, great partners. At the same time, we saw where the market was headed in terms of mobility and omni-channel and e-commerce, the leaps forward that were being taken from a consumer technology perspective. And we realized that as Microsoft, we needed to make the right investments in R&D to keep a solution in market that would give you a competitive differentiation, that would give you the chance to succeed and to win. And so with that, we as a company embarked on 3 separate paths. One was our Microsoft stores, obviously. We became a retailer ourselves. That initiative, which kicked off originally with just 10 or 12 stores, will now be 300 stores around the world in the next 12 to 15 months. We also started from a devices perspective on Microsoft Surface, and we started on devices that you're going to see coming out over the next 6 months, realizing that we could control more of the experience and provide something that maybe wasn't possible. Even though we have great OEM partners that do hardware, we realized that that would be an important investment for us as well. And some of what you'll see here today is going to be the devices and how they play into our retail business applications. And then the final piece of it was Dynamics and Dynamics Retail. Ultimately, when you see where the market is today, as great a product as RMS is, we wanted to give you something that would take that leap forward into the future. And that includes omni-channel capabilities, that includes mobility, that includes clienteling, e-commerce, all of those capabilities that you would be able to offer as part of a solution for your customers. And so in the 3.5 years since we've launched Dynamics Retail, we've put 4 major releases in the market, which is twice that of any of our closest competitors. We've invested, hundreds of millions of dollars, 1,500 developers, a considerable amount of time and energy to create a platform that would be the solution for the long term. And that's true for both our large customers on Dynamics Retail in the enterprise, as well as Dynamics Retail in the SMB space for next-gen RMS. Because when we talk to customers, the thing they keep asking us is, are they ready for where the market's headed? Are they ready for the experiences that their customers are going to require? Because at the end of the day, it's no longer about automation, and it's not about a transaction. It is about an experience. If you think about the global economy and where things are headed, if you think about the burden of additional healthcare costs on small retailers, their ability to manage their businesses effectively and with complete insight has never been more critical. If you look at Gartner and Forrester, they would tell you that 82% of all small businesses are going to be looking to do a technology refresh within the next 4 years. And that's something that really wasn't the case before. It was more about checking a box, automating the process. As long as I can capture sales and count the money at the end of the day, that was going to be good enough. And now that simply isn't the case. When you can sit on the couch at home and you can purchase items online and have it shipped to your home for free, most small businesses are wondering, how do I, one, get involved in that e-commerce world, and also, how do I drive people into my stores? How do I ensure that I'm going to be in business into the future? And so that's where technology has stepped in and really plays a key role in that. And that's something, when we say ready for what's next, is the entire sort of North Star of our development efforts. And so with that, I'm going to, I think, we'll see, give you some insight from Kirill Tatarinov, our president of all of Microsoft Business Solutions.
Kirill, we're here at NRF 2013, fantastic event, some initial insights from you, thoughts about what's going on.
Well, it's an amazing event. It's vibrant. There are lots of people. I think this is the biggest NRF we've ever had, and our presence here is obviously bigger than ever. And there's a reason for that. We have an amazing product that we're launching here today with Microsoft Dynamics solution for retail, which is quite phenomenal and truly unique and highly differentiated.
Obviously, we have a big presence at the event itself. Microsoft Dynamics for Retail, that unique differentiated solution we're talking about. What is really unique or differentiated versus the competition?
Well, the uniqueness really sort of permeates the solution from end to end. It's true omni-channel product, the only one in the market. It has the most modern, the most elegant point of sale. It gives consumers ability to interact with retailers in a very different mode, and it really makes retailers smarter and more dynamic by putting more information in front of the people in stores.
Microsoft is a large company, obviously. There's a lot of research and development investment that goes into the products. We have a broad solution set. Many of those assets get brought to bear in the retail space. Perhaps you can give some insight into some of the other great things that are going on that complement Microsoft Dynamics for retail as well.
Well, I think it will be fair to say that massive investment that Microsoft is putting across our entire portfolio through Dynamics brings enormous value to retailers. And it would be fair to look at Microsoft Dynamics as a unifying fabric for all innovation that's happening inside the company. And the role that Dynamics plays is to really bring all of the technologies and all of the investments that we're making and put it in the context of very specific targeted business process, and in this case it is retail.
You spoke about the research and development investments being made from an all-out Microsoft perspective. What excites you most in terms of some of the new technologies and solutions being released that complement the Dynamics solution set and really add that value and that differentiation to retailers?
Well, there's massive sort of new generational shifts that we're seeing in the industry, and investment in natural and native user interface, machine learning, a broad range of devices, smart devices, and through Dynamics, all that innovation comes to a broad range of industries and retail, of course.
You are talking to customers on a weekly basis. What are some of the things that they look for in a business partner like Microsoft that are really important for them and helping us to close a lot of great deals?
Well, people are really excited about sort of this massive push to innovate in user experience, and Microsoft has been known for over 35 years of our history in delivering systems and tools that are making individuals better at what they do. We are highly personalized, and we deliver this personal productivity, and that is precisely what people expect to come from Microsoft, and that is what the solution for retail gives the retailers.
Big call to action, Kirill. We're here in H2, going big on retail. What's your call to action for the field guys out there?
Well, field call to action is actually quite simple. We have truly unique solution that is unrivaled by competition. We're investing in the field. We're bringing more people to be able to deliver the solution. We're recruiting more partners. So now it's go, go, go.
Kirill, thanks for being with us here today. It's great that you're supporting the business. I know you're very excited about everything that's going on in retail at Microsoft, but in particular from a Microsoft Dynamics perspective. And I hope you come back again next year.
Thanks so much, Luke. Exciting event, and I'm truly thrilled to be here.
Thanks.
Thank you.
So I think, hopefully that's, what's compelling, I think, about that is, so Kirill Tatarinov is the president of MBS. There's maybe 5 presidents in all of Microsoft across the entire company. So ultimately, Fred, who you saw, I report to Fred, Fred reports to Kirill, and Kirill reports directly to Steve Ballmer. And so what's exciting is the investment that Kirill is being given, his interest in what's happening in the retail space, the investment that he's making to be there and support the business and drive it forward is very important for us. And again, he's got direct, one-on-one relationship with Steve Ballmer, so he's aware of what's happening with Dynamics Retail, what's happening with Next Gen RMS, what's happening with all of our retail initiatives. And so you see the commitment that's continued to grow, and part of that is because of the opportunity that we have, the growth that the business is seeing. And you heard Kirill talk about how Dynamics is this unifying fabric that pulls together technologies from across Microsoft. And as you'll see as we go through the next 2 days, that is a true statement when you think about us now having fully integrated e-commerce and web storefront based on a relationship with the SharePoint team. The fact that we've got mobile point of sale now on Windows Mobile 8. The fact that we have the first point of sale running on Microsoft Surface, both RT and Pro. The fact that we've got, as you see from the slide here, relationship with the Connect team. What we showed at NRF is pulling information from the Dynamics product catalog and being able to create virtual experiences. So in this case, a virtual dressing room where you could be in Nordstrom's or the Gap or any one of a million different retail organizations, and you could be trying on items without actually physically trying them on. You could see what dresses, accessories, different things look like, both in store and also in the privacy of your home. And so this is a way that we're working with the entertainment division to think about how Dynamics can pull virtual experiences into the store, proximity-based marketing, gesture recognition. We're working with Xbox on things like order management. The fact you'll be able to place orders on the Xbox and pick up items just by being in the privacy of your own living room. So there's a tremendous amount of cross-Microsoft investment that's taken place, and that's another fundamental shift that because of where Dynamics is headed, because of where the solution has grown, many other organizations and groups within the company now want to come to us to think about how they can take their technology to market in a very compelling way. And that sort of takes us into this whole paradigm, I guess, of where we are in terms of the generational shift that Kirill also talked about, and the fact that customers today simply expect a different type of experience. They grow up with smartphones, they grow up with tablets, they grow up with a lot of technology at their fingertips. The baby boomer generation, roughly 70 million of them, is now transitioning into the Generation X, and then the millennials. And you hear more and more about the shoppers that are going to be working with retail organizations. And so technology has now become an extension of the retailer's brand. When you walk into a store, you notice if they've got a handheld device and if they've got the ability to answer your questions quickly and bring up information at your fingertips. If you're doing something with them online and you come into the store, do they recognize a wish list? Do they recognize an order that's been placed? These are all things that are just becoming an expectation. And so whether you're the two-store mom and pop or whether you're Carrefour, you're thinking about these things and how you can create seamless experiences through technology. And so these are the main items that are driving our product roadmap. So when we think about omni-channel retail, for us it's not just marketing, it's not just messaging. Omni-channel is taking the ability to sell through different channels, whether it's a marketplace or whether it's an online storefront or a brick-and-mortar location, and connect those. So buy online, pick up in store, centralized returns management, the ability to fulfill orders, not just from a distribution center, but from the store down the street. So with this release of Dynamics Retail, we've built a commerce engine from the ground up that can run any channel of your business. You create a promotion one time, it's going to light up Facebook and Twitter, the native integration we have there. It's going to light up your e-commerce web front. It's going to light up anything that you want to do in terms of reaching a customer. And that's just not the case with other solutions. With best of breed, you obviously have a single solution that then has to connect to multiple other technologies, other languages, middleware, or even those who've tried to get to an end-to-end. Our friends at NetSuite just acquired Retail Anywhere, and they are claiming now they have omni-channel. What they have is a lot of development work to do and not a lot of people to do it with, to try to connect very different commerce engines, to try to connect different experiences. And so for us, as much as we want to show the marketing slides, we want there to be real weight and technology behind it. And then globalization. Dynamics Retail, unlike RMS, the opportunity with Next Gen RMS is that it will be a product localized for 38 countries. not just language, but government regulatory requirements, fiscal printer frameworks, things like that. And so having a global solution is critical for us. We now have the most widely available end-to-end retail solution in the world with customers in over 38 countries. And then we think about social networks, we think about marketplaces, all of the new channels, kind of keeping in that theme with ready for what's next. We're not really sure what the next device is going to be, what the next channel is going to be, but if your technology infrastructure doesn't support your ability to go there, you're going to find yourself at a significant disadvantage. And so this is some statistics in terms of the devices and how people are using mobility. And what's interesting, everyone, for the most part these days that we know, carries a smartphone. But the power that that one device gives a shopper in a store, regardless of size, is really compelling. And when you think about 66% of people now understand they can compare prices of the competitor down the street while they're in a store location. Or if you think about finding store locations, checking for discounts, reading product reviews, there's a large number of things that people now can do, and it's put retailers at a disadvantage. They haven't been on a level playing field. So how do you provide that information to the store associate or to someone in that organization so that they can be on a level playing field, understand the same types of data and information? So smartphones are changing the way that retail is run, the way that people do business, and the way that people shop. And so that takes us to the decision that Microsoft made about a year and a half ago when Steve Ballmer announced that Dynamics was the 8th major business division within the company. And it's just to reinforce that point that we made earlier about Dynamics being that unifying fabric, because Dynamics and Microsoft have all of these great technologies. We have this ability to create those personal experiences and to drive productivity. And more so than automation, it becomes about empowering people to be customer service advocates. And so that's why Dynamics now is a very strategic core part of a mission we have as a company in retail. And as an industry, retail is our top focus, and that's because that is the one place where I think all of our technologies can come together for both businesses and consumers in the most powerful way. And so before we jump a little bit more into Dynamics Retail specifically, just setting the stage with some of the challenges. When we talk to customers, when we talk to CIOs and CEOs, what you see is what they're struggling with in terms of their current technology. In 91% of the cases, a CIO or CEO would tell you that they're struggling with the high cost of ownership of existing solutions. They have trouble being strategic or thinking ahead because they're simply trying to maintain old legacy architectures. In terms of their business requirements not meeting the solutions that they have in place, that is 80% of the time reported as a significant problem. And you start to get the idea, difficulty in upgrading. So this goes back to the point when we hear that 82% of retailers across SMB, mid-market, and enterprise are now thinking about technology refresh as a way to take their business into the future. It's no longer a nice-to-have, it's a must-have. And that presents a tremendous opportunity for all of you as partners who have that retail expertise, who are going to have the right solutions that you can take to them. That's not a me-too offer. It's differentiated, it's unique in the marketplace, it offers capabilities that no other solution can offer. And so again, when we talk about a complete shopping experience and what it means to be a dynamic retailer, so when we say connected without compromise, that's why we built the industry's first singular omni-channel engine that can run all the different areas of your business. And as we go through the sessions, Jeff will talk about that, and he'll give you a lot more depth on what an omni-channel engine truly should be, can be, and what Microsoft has built. When we think about personal relevance, you'll see as we demonstrate our next-gen point of sale, the ability to pull in product reviews, item recommendations, accessories, service plans, a lot of rich detail now that is at your fingertips through the point of service. And then finally, agile and opportunistic. The work that's being done on the underlying architecture of Dynamics Retail is also critical for us, because that's what allows us to sell to the 5 to 10 store retailer. We have over 100 customers today on Dynamics Retail that are in the 10 to 15 store range. We also have customers like Carrefour that are using Dynamics Retail for 22,000 users in 1,800 stores. Or the deal we just signed with Delta Airlines, who are going to run our point of sale for Dynamics across 23,000 flight attendants for on-flight duty-free shopping and for other things of that nature. So building an architecture that can span across the different segments. As you heard Hal and Fred talk about next-gen RMS all the way up through the enterprise, those are the investments that we're optimizing for. And our Microsoft stores have played an important role in this as well, because I think, just to drive home the point of the unique perspective we have, we are the only company in the world that delivers business applications to the market, delivers devices to the market, but then also we are a retailer. And we started that 3.5 years ago, and Dynamics for Retail has been running those stores ever since. And we've learned quite a bit. First, we learned that being a retailer is really, really hard. And we've learned that with that has come a lot of insight that's driven our product roadmap in terms of how we manage payments, in terms of how we integrate to devices, in terms of some of the choices we've made around e-commerce and mobility. So this is something that is an invaluable asset for us and will continue to be, especially now that the stores are thriving and expanding around the world. And I think another important point to make is just some of the churn that we're seeing in the marketplace, especially with some of the competitive solutions that are out there. You saw Micros acquire Torex. NCR has gone on a spending spree. They bought Retalix. They bought Radiant Systems. There's just a lot happening. NetSuite bought Retail Anywhere. But what that's done is it's created an environment where customers are asking, what is the future of my technology solution? NCR now has 7 different point-of-sale solutions. So which one are they going to prioritize? Which one's going to stay in the market? The same is true for Retail Pro and the future of that solution. Is that going to be there for the long term? Do companies have the dollars to invest in the R&D that's needed to keep up with the market and the shifts that are taking place? So the $10 billion that we spend in R&D, the modern architecture that we have, we actually have stumbled into something that's a real opportunity for us. In the past, people would say, well, it's a newer solution. It hasn't been in the market as long. We want something that's tried and true. Well, what tried and true now means is older legacy architecture that's not going to be refreshed anytime soon, companies without the R&D investment necessary to take those solutions into the future. When I think about our business 4 years ago, we were $30, $40 million in retail. We're at $175 million 3 years later and growing at about a 50 to 60% clip year over year. And part of that is because we're able to put the dollars into the R&D side, into the field side, and to the readiness side, and that's why next-gen RMS, we're excited about what you're going to see here this weekend and our ability to now have a single platform that can span across all of these different segments. Most of the other vendors, again, with whom we compete, it's not about new customer adds for them anymore. They're servicing an existing install base. If you think about someone like Retalix and the license revenue versus services, about 15% of their money comes from new customer adds and licenses. About 85% is just servicing an install base. And so again, this is a time and it's an opportunity for partners, and as we go through the 2 days here, we'll talk about training, readiness, what we're going to be doing and working with you to help you take advantage of this phenomenal opportunity. And kind of keeping on that theme, one other decision that we've made as a company is that to really give customers that investment protection, if we're going to be selling it in the market, if it is a key priority, then we should be using it ourselves. And so Dynamics now runs over 14 major business divisions within Microsoft. So beyond our retail stores, we use Dynamics for all of our MBS order processing. It runs our Xbox manufacturing. It runs our expense reporting for 90,000 employees. Dynamics runs all of our vendor supplier management. And so, yes, we have SAP in our company, and that's not a system that's just going to go away, but it's a great example of how Dynamics can run alongside existing technologies, but also the bet that we're placing on Dynamics to run Microsoft. And so when Steve Ballmer is your first and largest customer, he's going to give you what's necessary to invest in the R&D side of things, to invest in the go-to-market, which is critical for us. And so ultimately, when you wonder about Dynamics and customers ask, well, can I believe that this is a solution that's a priority for Microsoft? The answer is a resounding yes, more so than you're going to find with really any other technology vendor in the marketplace. And so we start to get into Dynamics for Retail specifically, and many of you have seen this slide. We've been showing this slide for 3.5 years, but we show it again because this hasn't changed. Many of you have been with Dynamics for quite a while. I've known many of you for 7+ years, having been with Dynamics Retail since I started at Microsoft. The interesting thing is, when you think back to the shift that we made when we launched this product, our roadmap hasn't changed in 3.5 years. We have hit every release that we have said we were going to for the last 3.5 years. We've hit every service pack. We have not missed a beat when it comes to retail. And so that's important and it's critical because that's the stability that you can start voicing to your customers. So when we talk about next-gen here and next-gen RMS being delivered later this year, when we talk about having a full omni-channel vision, with our most recent release, we've now brought that to reality. You know, whether it's the mobile-based point of sale on a device like this that you'll see more of in some of the sessions, whether it's our omni-channel e-commerce engine or our fully integrated e-commerce storefront, we now can achieve and touch customers across all of these different points of engagement.
Modern, empowered consumers are reached on their terms, how, when, and where they choose. Loyalty in today's world is built on personal, relevant experiences that make a lasting impression in the store, at home, and on the go. As a retailer, how can you build loyalty with consumers when disconnected systems and isolated teams keep your people in the dark and consumers wanting more? The dynamic retailer connects without compromise across any channel with complete visibility. Always ready for what's next. Social networks, online storefronts, mobile, buy online, pick up in store. All managed in a single solution that's agile and opportunistic, building likes, loyalty, and leadership. You make a promise with your brand every day. When you deliver with a consistent, powerful voice, customers will come. And in that moment, your business is ready. Your business is dynamic.
So the thing I love about that video is that everything you saw there is real existing product that we're shipping and that we're deploying with customers today. So that includes all the social network integration. That includes the e-commerce web storefront. You know, e-commerce that we're deploying with Mission Linen in California, where Nestle's in a proof of concept, Wilkinson's in the UK, and that's a solution that just came to market about a month ago. The mobile point of sale that I talked about with Delta Airlines. So that's the concept, that's the idea, that we can deliver all of those experiences across any channel, across any device. And so that's when you see the marketing that's going to be accompanying our retail go-to-market initiative. If you've been to Microsoft.com, you've seen that there's no AX for retail, there's no AX period. Our website is Dynamics for Retail. And that's what it's going to be moving forward. It's a technology solution that's going to be for SMB, Dynamics for Retail SMB, and Dynamics for Retail in the enterprise. And that's really the power of what we're trying to get across as a message, that it's no longer about a product or a single piece of code. It's about a complete solution. It's about a complete platform that you can use across the entire retail landscape. And so when we think about our customers and the way that they're deploying, these are the traditional workloads that they focus on, whether it's end-to-end or whether it's just store management, merchandising, and operations. So when we think about next-gen for Dynamics Retail, and you're going to see here, it's a point of sale, it's merchandising, it's store management, it's going to have e-commerce mobility capabilities, and then that's it. You can deploy that as it is. If you want to expand that, you can. You can get into the order management, replenishment, supply chain, financials. All that technology will be there should someone want to grow into that, should someone want to add that down the road. But that's going to be the power of choice that we're going to give to all of our customers. And so when you think about the way that third parties or independent analysts and customers are responding to what we're doing, just wanted to give you a flavor for that. Because again, it's one thing for Microsoft to tell you how we're doing in the marketplace, but when you hear from Forrester and Gartner and others, unfortunately I don't have the refreshed version of this. This is the 2009 version of our point of sale, where we were rated #1 in the world for strategy, roadmap, vision, ahead of Retalix, ahead of Torex, ahead of Micros, ahead of Wincor, ahead of Epicor. And this is our first time in the study, and it's also important to note this 2009 version had 60% of the functionality, roughly, of the 2012 version. The new version of the study is about to come out, where we have leapfrogged the others into the leadership quadrant, and we'll have that as another tool that you can use when you talk about what does point of sale mean specifically for Dynamics, what type of investments are we making, how strong are we from the store side. And when you think about some of the quotes and the comments from the analysts, you know, Microsoft has the most impressive product roadmap, social networking integration, mobility, the most comprehensive approach to multi-currency. And then when they think about the opportunities with devices like Microsoft Surface, it becomes very, very compelling. Gartner, Nucleus. And so there's also a momentum that's building in the analyst community, with the press, with the analysts, in terms of what we're doing and how we're delivering retail to the marketplace. So I also wanted to highlight some of the customers, just to give you a feel of the different verticals, the different sizes, the different scope. There are over 27 different micro verticals within specialty retail general merchandise where we now have customers. So whether it's someone like David's Tea that started on RMS and with 3 stores and now has 106 stores across Canada and the US, or whether it's Chanel that's rolling out distribution, merchandising, and now POS across the US, Asia, and Europe, or LVMH, Marc Jacobs doing their global rollout. Someone like Edwin Watts Golf, for their 90 stores, is going live next week with the entire solution end-to-end. Mattress Firm, who's live, going to 1,000 stores. Ashley Furniture, Ralph Lauren. What you see here are retailers whose brands are critical, where the brand means everything and the representation of that brand through technology is non-negotiable. They're choosing this solution, they're choosing Dynamics because this is what allows them to portray the type of vision to their customers that they need. And then you think about some of the other customers we're working with, the Toronto Blue Jays, who are now going to be running all of their merchandising and store solutions, the Delta Airlines example I just gave you. You see that there's a scale to this. And as I said, we have over 100 customers that are in sort of that 10 to 15 store range, but we also have Carrefour that's going to run all of their omni-channel order management across a very, very large organization, 90 billion euro that they do a year. So the scale of this and the scope of what it can be and the customers we can serve is really not limited in any way. And so we use another example like Sephora, who's running with our solution in Brazil. And the reason that that's critical, again, is that retailers don't have to make a choice about going to a different technology solution simply because they're going into an emerging market. So some are thinking about how I can play in China, Russia, India, Brazil. And the beauty of this, Sephora, the largest, most busy opening that they've had in North America, you see the Dynamics POS running there at that store. But it's another example of how a retailer who cares a lot about the customer service, who needed those local requirements, they needed the vendor to be able to provide that, Dynamics was able to deliver. And I show this slide not to get into the specifics of Carrefour so much, but it does highlight 2 points. One, on the omni-channel side, just to give you an example, Carrefour, you would think, they've got thousands of stores, the second largest retailer in the world behind Walmart. They couldn't do buy online, pick up in store. They couldn't do centralized returns management. They had multiple store formats, they had multiple product catalogs, and it was crippling their ability to create seamless experiences. So now and they also had at least 85 different IT solutions. So imagine the place you're in, you've got 85 different pieces of technology, you're trying to think about how you start to drive a coordinated strategy, and they chose Microsoft Dynamics as their unifying omni-channel solution. So we will be their single product catalog. We will take in data from their merchandising and their transactional systems and allow them to now do buy online, pick up in store, centralized management, fulfillment through any store format. And that's important because, again, for someone of that size to see that Microsoft has built an omni-channel engine that's the real deal, that works. And it's a powerful statement, especially when you look at the quote from their CIO globally, who doesn't look at this as a sale and a transaction. He looks at this as a 10-year journey. So working with Microsoft as a partner to, over time, not have 85 solutions, to have less complexity in his business, and to be able to be a leader in that space. And so when you think about the feedback we get from customers and the direct quotes, again, it's not about, I can automate a process or I've checked a box. If you look at, say, Mattress Firm and their CIO, it's about a customer experience. It's about creating differentiation. It's about going mobile. It's about creating relationships. If you think about Optic 2000 at 1,800 stores and 7,000 point of sale, it's about providing a strategic vision for the company. And so these are the types of quotes that we want to have. This is the type of relationship that we want you and for us to have with customers in the retail space. And so with that, I'm going to show you just a few things from a product perspective that I think are interesting. And Jeff, somewhere over there, I've promised not to steal too much of his thunder. But we want to get into some things that we're doing when we talk about these different concepts. So if you think about the point of sale and what kind of information is given to an associate when you select an item, not just adding it to the transaction and being done. So with our point of sale now, the idea that you select an item and it's going to pull in all the product specs, product reviews across any channel. It could be from online, it could be from social network, a marketplace. It's going to give you recommended accessories, potential service plans that you may want to associate with it. This is the idea of again, putting the associate in the store on a level playing field. So this is just one simple example. There's quite a bit more that Jeff's going to get into, but these are some of the things to make it more real that we were talking about. And then e-commerce. So e-commerce for us is important because it's a solution that we've just launched, but it's very different technology than what's been in the market in the past. This is SharePoint 2013. You can build your entire online web storefront in SharePoint technology. We've done this for a number of different retailers. You can get as sophisticated as you would like. We had a number of interns build out the Ferrari, Energizer, Patagonia websites in a matter of a few days. We have some very big retailers, and we also have some SMB retailers that are now working with us on this. But the pages are all built on search. This is not static HTML. This is not code out a page and then you go. This is web pages built on an ongoing search of managed content, authored content, product catalogs from Dynamics. And so each time someone goes to the site, there's going to be a different, more relevant experience. It's going to take historical click patterns into account. It's going to look at behaviors. And ultimately, Dynamics is fully integrated on the back end. So all of the order fulfillment, shipping, payment engine, shopping cart, item hierarchies and categories, you now have an end-to-end e-commerce solution where you don't have to figure out how to plug this front end into some sort of a back-end system. Dynamics can natively control this experience. If you create a new price point or if you add a new picture to Dynamics in terms of your catalog, it will dynamically reflect on the website. If you change your item hierarchies or categories in Dynamics, it will reflect on the website. So Dynamics then becomes that central place where you can manage your merchandising, your store management, your e-commerce, all of the channels of your business. So this is something we're excited about because it's not, again, a Me Too solution. It's what we would think about in terms of e-commerce 3.0. And Jeff, again, as we go through the omni-channel and some of these other sessions, will take you through that technology in more depth. And then I brought that up just because it's a little bit hard for you all to see me holding this up and waving it at you. But the idea here is that this is a Nokia Lumia phone. It's in a Verifone sled. This is what our Microsoft stores run. But it's got integrated scanner. It's got integrated card swipe. But what you see here is our Dynamics POS now optimized for the mobile form factor. So you can swipe to get different product information. You can get the details. You can get different reviews. So it's the same type of power of data and information that you can drive, but optimized for that handheld form factor. So again, this is something that we just released. It's something that we haven't had in the past, but this now gives customers the opportunity for sidewalk sales or in a more limited space to have this type of device, to have a Surface device, or have a traditional desktop POS. Because we've got the ability to, with our omni-channel engine, the suspend transaction, you can flip something from this to a Surface tablet to an on-counter POS if you would want. So there's really no limitation to the way that you can engage with customers through any device. And with that, I'm going to plug in, and we're going to cross our fingers on this for another just quick preview of some other things that we're working on that I think that you would find interesting. So this is an example of, again, I'm going to try not to upset the device too much, but this is Microsoft Surface RT. So this is a £1.5 device, tablet with, so it's basically the shell of it can survive a 7-foot drop. It's a retail hardware device, but its point of sale is very different from what you would typically see from traditional. So the example here is if you want to be able to provide information to customers about products, and I go into products, instead of a traditional POS look and feel, I'm now going to get a visual representation of what products may look like. And if I select a product, I'm going to have the ability to do a number of different things, whether it's choosing to compare different items so I can give people a better sense of what items, how they relate to one another. I'm also going to have the ability to drill into an item, and if I decide to add it to the sale, basically get rich information about that. But beyond the product detail, the thing that's exciting is the customer side of it. So I'm going to have my customers, I'm going to know who they are, I'm going to have information that I can pull in about them from any channel. So in this case, I'm going to go and look at this particular individual, and I'm going to see a lot of information. I'm going to see what was her last store visit. I'm going to see how long she's been a customer. I'm going to see her birthday. I'm going to see what method of communication she wants, whether it's text, whether it's her social network. I'm going to see all of her recent purchases that she's made, and that can be across online channels, it can be across my brick-and-mortar stores. I'm going to see a wish list that she created online that's going to be pulled directly from the online experience. I'm going to see suggested products. I'm going to see details about what we should be offering based on all of this rich product information and past history that we have. Finally, I'm going to see any orders that she may have opened in the system, and I'm going to be able to act on that regardless of what the case may be. And then finally, from a reporting standpoint, we're going to be able to look at trends, whether it's purchases by month, or purchases by category, or purchases by price point. So this is an example of where things are headed in terms of being able to provide a conversation with that customer. You're going to know who they are. You're going to be able to act on that. So if I have earned a transaction, I've already got my products, had the sale, and then again, you have the ability to do all the things you do in terms of checking out, payment. And once I do that, sales receipts going to be sent to your email address or to your Facebook account or your cell phone, whatever she chooses. But so this is something for the next release that will be made available. So you have the option of different methods of point of sale engagement, whether it's our enterprise POS or whether it's our account. That's just one example, and this is obviously a Microsoft device on Surface, but it's showing how these types of tablets and handhelds, what the experience is going to look like as you move forward. And then the other piece, I'll this back in, just give you a quick view of the e-commerce web storefront. So that's the type of development. So when we think about our roadmap and where we're headed, a lot of the development work is going to be now focused squarely on those experiences that you're going to see in the school. And I think the other thing that's important to note is when you look at the development and where the focus is, you see quite a bit on point of sale, you see quite a bit on e-commerce. So we're really focusing on those front-end workloads. So when you think about the benefits to next-gen RMS, you'll take advantage of and be able to leverage all of these capabilities. So if we think about a clienteling POS, if we think about the item detail that you're going to be able to pull up, if we think about integrated web storefront, when we think about mobile handheld, that's all part of the next-gen RMS plan. And that's where our focus has been, is developing retail capabilities and store capabilities, customer capabilities. So hopefully the excitement is that all of this is Dynamics Retail, but it's also a look into next-gen RMS. So this is giving you a feel for what we saw in the video and what you saw in some of the slides. This is our e-commerce integrated web storefront that we have. This is just a template. So basically, this is something you can start with a customer, or you can get as sophisticated or as unique with the look and feel as you'd like. But the interesting thing about this is that while you have the storefront, everything from your shopping cart to your checkout experience, all of these item hierarchies and categories, they all live inside of Microsoft Dynamics. They're managed by the Dynamics product catalog. So anything that you want to manage from this standpoint can be handled. So content management is going to be driven through SharePoint. You can use industry standard tools like Dreamweaver from a marketing look and visual appeal standpoint. But in terms of the engine and the heart of what runs this, all of it is going to be Dynamics on the back end. And you saw some of the things that you can do in terms of selecting items, things like your product refiners and categories. So ultimately, instead of having to decide that I want 5 refiners for a laptop, by screen size or color, and code those each uniquely, and you're going to basically have just item attributes that are part of your Dynamics catalog. And so all of your refiners will populate automatically. So it reduces the coding that you have to do. It reduces the actual work and complexity of what you have to manage. So I just wanted to give you a quick glimpse of this. Jeff is going to be showing this in a lot more detail, both from the mobile handheld standpoint, from the e-commerce standpoint, and from the clienteling perspective in all of these sessions. But hopefully what you've seen is that there's a tremendous amount of innovation, and we are moving very quickly. And that's a true statement across not just the enterprise for the very large customers we're working with, but also on the next-gen RMS. We see a $70 million upside per year in the SMB space with Dynamics in the SMB world. So the revenue opportunity is significant. There's a big technology refresh that's coming. We've got a great channel, great partners that have expertise. And the interesting thing is that we've seen is, from a Dynamics perspective, there aren't a lot of partners that have that store experience on the point of sale that are succeeding in that way. We've got a lot of engagement from Microsoft Consulting. We've got a lot of direct engagement we're doing with customers. But 3.5 years later, as fast as the solution is growing and as much success as we've had, there's still a significant need from a channel standpoint for partners that understand merchandising and point of sale and all of those concepts. And so the role that all of you are going to play moving forward is critical. To use a football analogy, we sort of outkicked our coverage a little bit. We put a solution in market and it's selling and customers love it, but now we're doing a lot of work to figure out how we're going to get our partners engaged more directly, especially from the front end side. So I think that's an opportunity, and we're excited about that, and then the product that we're going to be delivering. I also appreciate you bearing with me through my technical difficulties, but hopefully this gives you a good sense of where Microsoft's headed, the investments that we're making, the innovation that's coming. It is a true statement that we've got technology and capabilities that no one else in the market has. And they don't have the R&D investments to build it and catch up. So you're going to have some things that you can take to market in the very near future that are going to allow this business to really take off and grow in a way that it never has before. So thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your attention, and looking forward to the rest of the conference.